Good morning and welcome to the Real Estate Walk and Talk. Question for the day: what are the classifications of A, B, C, and D for neighborhoods? And which types of neighborhoods should you be investing in for rental property investing? So if you've been around long enough in real estate, you'll start to hear of classifications: A neighborhoods, B neighborhoods, C neighborhoods, D neighborhoods. And they come from the commercial world. This is a way in the commercial world of ranking the neighborhood as well as the building. So you'll have A neighborhoods and A buildings, and you could have A neighborhoods and B buildings, and vice versa, and all that good stuff. And welcome everybody who's walking with me here on the Walk and Talk. We're talking about A, B, C, D neighborhoods and where you should be investing for rental property and positive cash flow. So it's from the commercial world, really. For single family rental property investing, we really kind of classify, well, I'll tell you the truth, we don't really use A, B, C, D all that much. It's sometimes thrown around on blogs at JWB. We don't really use these classifications because they're extremely subjective. They don't help a whole lot. But mainly you would hear it in terms of neighborhood. So you've got an A neighborhood, a B neighborhood, a C neighborhood, or a D neighborhood in the single family rental space. So what this is classifying neighborhoods, kind of making it simpler to understand the demographics of the neighborhood, the age of the buildings there, the amount of amenities and nice restaurants that you have there, where real estate values are there, what's the percentage of renters. And an A neighborhood would have the highest percentage of owners there, the highest real estate values, the newest buildings, call it the nicest areas. Class B would be slightly older buildings, but still newer buildings and amenities there. You'll still have a majority of owners in those neighborhoods, and your real estate values will still be above the median. They just won't be at the A level. They won't be the highest real estate values there. And when you get into the C's, that's where you're going to start to see below median home prices, and you see strong rental demand. So you see a lot of renters in these neighborhoods. The majority of folks who live in these neighborhoods are renters. And schools, if it's a below middle income area, you expect below middle income schools, or excuse me, below average schools. So that's very common in the C's. And when you get to the D's are, we shouldn't spend a whole lot of time talking about the D's because we don't want to invest there. Right, you have the almost entirely renters, and you have low income housing. Buildings are extremely old. Many need a tremendous amount of work done to them, and not a good place to be investing because there's violent crime there. And even though the numbers look good on paper, because you have significant rental demand and you have low prices there, it just doesn't work. So where should you be investing? And welcome everybody who's walking here with me now. So where should you be investing for rental properties? A's, B's, C's, D's, where should you go? Well, the reality is that, as I mentioned, these are very subjective. So I'm only sharing this because you may read it on a blog or hear of it, but you're not going to hear JWB talk a lot about how we only invest in these neighborhoods, A's neighborhoods, B's neighborhoods, C neighborhoods. We really stick to more objective metrics. But since you asked, right, Class A neighborhoods, you're not going to get positive cash flow there. You're not going to get positive cash flow for the majority of Class B neighborhoods as well. Class D neighborhoods, as I mentioned, we're not going to consider because it's not where you want to be. The risk of those areas, for a lot of reasons, including your maintenance and your vacancy cost, is way high there. And it doesn't make sense. So throw out the A's, throw out the D's, as in dog, for sure. And the B's, the vast majority of the B's, it's going to be hard to get positive cash flow there. So you may find it, call it a B minus, right? If you're really kind of getting close to middle income, that's where you can find positive cash flow, but that's at the very high end. So really, you're going to be focusing on the C neighborhoods. This is where JWB has been investing in Jacksonville since the beginning, since 2006. And we purchased over 3,000 properties, and we focus on these C neighborhoods for the majority of our investments because low prices, high rents, surrounded by jobs, and you're surrounded by renters. There's strong rental demand here, which is at the core of it why you have this positive cash flow opportunity. So what are you giving up? Well, hey, guess what? School systems are not going to be the best school systems because there's no perfect investment out there. And school systems, while it would be great that they would be, class A, right, or the best school systems, you don't need a great school system to have a long-term resident who's going to stay there forever and pay you rent, right? That's what we're really good at, is finding long-term residents in C neighborhoods, even if schools aren't the best ones. That's just the reality of it. You also got to get over the fact that you're going to be investing in renting neighborhoods, and sometimes rental neighborhoods don't look as good as the ones where people own them. That's just a reality. That is part of the game here. So you got to be able to get over that. Don't envision yourself living in this home, or else you might make a bad financial decision. So those are some of the things you give up, but the C's are great because it helps you get positive cash flow first, and it's in a decent neighborhood where you're going to find effective property management. You go too far down the line, you go into the D's, you're not going to find a great property manager, I can tell you that. They're not going to want to put themselves in harm's way. So here's a little bit of help on A's, B's, C's, and D's. I welcome all of you for walking with me here this morning here. We've got Bill Oxley, Ruben Ebenezer, a client of ours, Roldan, Tim Beavers, another client. We got Dom Felix, Valerie Matthew. I appreciate all of you walking with me this morning here, talking to A's, B's, C's, and D's. If you guys have any additional questions, throw them in the comments. I appreciate all of you, and I'll catch you tomorrow on the Walk and Talk. Take care, everybody.